Going to the game, I'm going to be playing Kindred Jungle and show you why this champion is still broken despite the nerfs that happened. In this matchup, we're currently up against Nautilus, and in a Kindred versus Nautilus, this is an advantage for Nautilus in the early game since he has much better ganks, loads of crowd control, and is very durable. But once we get to the late game, this is gonna be an advantage for Kindred since her scaling is so much better. That's why what we want to do is to be able to farm up, make efficient ganks so that we could get that late game as soon as possible. One thing to do when playing Kindred Jungle is to always mark the enemy jungle at the 20-second mark. And here, I see that Nautilus is starting at the top side. Starting at the Krugs means that he's going to be pathing bot as well. And there's a high chance that we will meet at the bottom scuttle. There's a fight happening bot side. I have no idea what's happening. Ziggs going for a level 1 gank. Taking down our Olaf. At least Lucian gets a 1-for-1 trade. And that's something that I will take. With regards to the jungle clear, what I usually do is a 4-camp clear. Starting at the blue side. Go for blue buff, Gromp, Wolves, red. And then we immediately go to the scuttle to see if it's gonna be the marked scuttle. The reason why I started at the blue side rather than the red side is because I'd like to path towards the Olaf lane. Olaf being an early game powerhouse, we wanna help him snowball the lead or possibly protect him from the enemy jungle ganks. Because the moment Olaf falls behind, especially against a champion like Ornn, he's just gonna get outscaled and be useless later on. After taking the red buff, we go for the scuttle, but seeing that the Nautilus is also there, I'm having second thoughts, especially that our Olaf doesn't have any priority. With the top scuttle, getting the mark, this is quite lucky for me, so we would be able to get this for free. Nautilus going for the scuttle bot side. My team doing a good job leashing it, so I would be able to get my first mark. Nautilus is trying to look for the contest on the double scuttler, but he's already too late. So he makes a mistake and his pathing is kinda screwed since he already cleared his topside caps. Bot side with Olaf and Ornn still fighting. Our Olaf is getting destroyed, but we're here to help. We immediately mark the Ornn before the gank. That way, we will get another mark. Free kill plus my second mark. Nautilus shows up, but Lucian, perfect timing. We're also able to punish this guy. And we get a 2 for non-exchange. Perfect timing since we're at the 1 or 2 mark angle. The next mark will spawn at the Gromp. And here, we get another free mark. Currently 1 mark per minute, which is really good. We already get our additional range at the 3 mark angle. And with this beautiful early game, with Kindred, one of the strongest snowballing champions, especially with this mark system. The more marks you get, the stronger your abilities are, and even Kindred's base damage is really high. With this back, we buy our items. I ping the Raptors because there's a high chance that's where the next mark is gonna spawn. The reason why I know this is because with the double scuttle gun and taking the Gromp, the next mark has no choice but to spawn at the Raptor camp. We go back to mark the Nautilus. We try and see if we can take it for ourselves. This is gonna be a bit risky. He might sit away, but it's fine. With our lead, we could probably try to burst this Nautilus. But with the Soraka showing up, we have no choice but to go back. It's worth for me because we burned the Ziggs ulti as well as the Nautilus ulti. Nautilus is not able to snowball the early game, which is really good for us. When clearing with Kindred, there's nothing much that you could do. Just kite the camp, spam your W plus Q. And perfect timing, another mark spawned at the top side because Gromp is taken, there's no Raptors, and we get our 4th mark. Knowing this, since we are currently at 4 marks, the spawn locations will change. From the Gromp plus Raptors, it's now gonna spawn either at the blue or red buff, Wolves, or Krugs. Seeing that Nautilus cleared the top side jungle already, it has no choice but to spawn either at the blue buff or Wolf. Nautilus is taking the blue buff right now, so yeah, perfect timing. I just saw Mark literally appear and get taken out. It's fine, we already have a lot of marks. The next thing that we need to go for is the objectives. Olaf is losing lane to the Ornn, which is not good. But as long as our Ezreal and Lucian are able to farm properly, it should be alright. With the dragon spawning, I don't know where their locations are. One thing that you could do is mark the Nautilus so that you know where he is, which is something I probably forgot to do. But seeing his position, we know that he's here. We secured the dragon with the smite plus third skill execute. And since there's a mark at the Krugs, we also take this for free. Nautilus though, going for the Herald, seeing that I went for the top Krugs. And since I know that I'm not gonna reach the Herald anymore, we'll just cut this wave and go for the Caitlyn. Get a mark off her as well. She has no choice, nowhere to go. Get the kill for free, plus my 6th mark. With Olaf dying, at least he's able to buy enough time since they just started the Herald. So even though they're able to get the Herald objective, we're able to get top tower as well as mid plates, which is an overall win on our end. So with the Krugs gone, next would be at the bot side again, seeing that the Wolves, it's already marked after 30 seconds. And we have no priority there. So one thing when playing Kindred is just because there's a mark in the enemy jungle, it doesn't mean that you have to immediately get it. You also need to know the circumstances of your team as well as yourself before going for an invade for the mark. Going back to base, big power spike Triforce gives us so much mobility as well as HP so we don't get easily bursted. Next up is Ziggs, who's overextended. Karma doing a good job buying time. I go with my second skill, first skill. Unfortunately, Ziggs still has flash. It's fine. And our Ornn is still getting smacked by this. Or rather, our Olaf is still getting smacked by this Ornn. It's fine because even though they have Ornn, he is not a hyper carry. We go for this Nautilus. We already have our Triforce, big power spike, and look at the damage that we're dealing. This guy is super squishy. Get a free mark. And knowing where the next mark will spawn, it's gonna be at the blue buff. And we get another mark. Currently at 8 marks at the 7 minute. With Ornn overextending, maybe we can get a kill onto this guy. Despite being very tanky. Try to kite him a bit. I know he's gonna third skill. Goes away. Olaf arrives. But he's not able to chase him down. It's fine. What we need here is the tower for our team. So with the perfect presence of mind, you always want to know where the enemy jungle is so that you can hypothesize or guess where the next mark will be. But now, since I'm at the 8 mark angle, the next mark will always spawn at the objectives. So it's never gonna spawn at the neutral camps anymore. So I don't need to worry about tracking for the marks. Olaf, I don't know what he's doing. Game is basically 4v5, but it's fine because we're snowballing. We're getting so much marks which will be good against the tanky targets and bursting the enemy later on. We go for the invade. As soon as I see Caitlyn overextended, immediately put the passive onto her so that we get another stack on our marks. Just try to go away. Our Ezreal's there. Burn both of her spells and get a free mark. Nautilus overextended. Actually, it's not overextended. He just made a mistake. But with this Ornn though, dealing so much damage, try to kite him a bit. And in the end, you know what? Let's just go back. We got what we needed, which is the mark onto the Caitlyn. And you wanna continue farming as much as possible. Since we're a carry champion, even though our damage is already high at this stage, we do not want to forget to farm our own camps. Lucian is popping off with his Karma, doing a good job. Try to help, but he's already down. Oh well. We'll just shove the wave. Mark the Ornn because he's frontline and that's something we can probably take down. Take the red buff for ourselves and denying all of the farm that this Nautilus can take. Yep, this jungle super squishy. Olaf, super deep. I can't help him. If I try to help him, high chance that I'll die. I was thinking about using my ulti, but in the end, I decided against it. Since he's just gonna die either way. With the objective up, this is something that we could start. A bit of a scary position since I'm already half HP. Ezreal is super low and Lucian is still on the way. I decide to just start it because their jungle is still down. We take it for free without any repercussions, and Lucian popping off, literally taking down their support and zoning their entire team. Oh, he gets caught by a random bomb, but it's fine. I just noticed now that we're triple AD and they have an Ornn in their team. They're probably just gonna build pure armor and things will be hard. But it's fine since we're super ahead. Ezreal can also build Riftmaker to negate the tankiness of their Baron laner. Looking at their carries though, they're not that fed. Even though their Ornn is doing a good job, the rest of their members are kinda behind. Another thing that you can do when clearing with Kindred is using the wolves in between two camps. That way, when you clear one camp, you still have the reduced move speed. A fight happens both side, we'll just go front to back. We don't even need to go for the backline because we just deal so much damage. Get another mark on their Nautilus. And when using your passive mark, you always want to mark the easiest champion to take down. In this case, it's the Nautilus. Whenever we meet him or he goes in a fight, we can just burst since he has 0 armor items. We went for the Roa Ionia boots, which is very squishy. Even though Roa gives a bit of HP, it's not enough to survive our DPS. We go back to our own camps, clear the blue buff, and look for opportunities to invade. Especially when you're ahead on Kindred, this champion can invade pretty fast. Look to go for a mark. Ezreal goes down. As much as I want to mark the Nautilus again, it's still on cooldown, so we'll just get the free kill. And with this, their red is exposed, something that we can take easily. And another thing about Wolf is that you could use your second skill over the walls or on the bushes in order to get vision. With the Baron up and having 11 stacks, we could just immediately start this. We have a lot of DPS, and this is where this champion shines the most. Having a double ADC or even triple ADC, we just melt Baron for free. Their jungle is still down, and without any resistance, we take the free objective. Plus, we get another mark. RFC is now up, something that we could take. There are two things I could go for, either the Magnetic Rifle or the Mortal Reminder. Since we're super ahead in the game, we could just go for the Magnetic Rifle in order to burst the squishies at the back side. Mortal Reminder is also another good item. If this game was 50-50 and the not Ornn went pure tank, then that's an item that I could go for. But definitely, I have to complete both of these items, especially since they have a Soraka as well. With the Baron buff, we wanna push our lead. Try to get our more marks. We're currently at the 12 marks, which gives us more range. And combined with a Magnetic Rifle, we literally have the same range as Tristana. Look how far I am when I'm hitting the tower. We bait the Nautilus ult. It's fine, we have Karma Shield plus our jump. Our Olaf though, super greedy. Almost take down the Caitlyn in one hit. It's fine. One cannon minion. Take the objective for free. Ezreal also takes down the top tower. Of course, we don't want to play super greedy. But this Lucian, playing really well. Our mid lane is just smurfing as well. We're now destroying this Ornn, despite him having a good early game. We look to see on who can we mark again. Of course, we always go for the Nautilus, who's literally free gold and free mark stacks. Next dragon is spawning in 10 seconds. This is probably soul point. Yep. Free for us to take. Let's just get the blue buff while waiting for this objective to spawn. Bloodthirster plus our W passive giving us HP. No problem. We take this for free and get Mountain Soul. Mountain Soul, not the best soul for this game, since what we need is more damage to be able to go through the tanks. Nevertheless, it's fine. 3 inhibitors down. All we need to do is go for the finishing touches. Nautilus is getting anxious. We have a mark on him, and look at that. Just kiting his every skill, and this is what I mean. We're in the late game, Nautilus can literally do nothing against us. As much as I wanna buy my Immortal Reminder, we already have such a good wave coming to their Nexus. You can just go for a straight end. Olaf going in again. I'm just trying to pad my stats. Their Soraka gave up, just AFK. And with the creeps arriving, we could just go for a clean end. And yeah, that is how you could use the marks for Kindred. Really good if you have winning lanes and good understanding of where the next mark will spawn. 88% on Kindred, we get MVP. Even though we didn't get that much kills, we were able to farm so much marks and deny so much gold from the enemies. 26k damage on this Kindred, and look at the damage of my skills, 1.9k Giant Slayer, 2k Kraken Slayer, and I think it was 1k also on the Sudden Impact. So despite our Olaf running it down, we were able to get the win. So despite the Olaf running it down, we were able to get a really good early game, get our marks, and snowball into a win. So that is it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Peace out. Ciao, ciao. Bye.